Happy Wednesday, wherever you are on this still phenomenal planet. It is very hot in Southern California. It is very hot. It is very hot. It's very hot. I've been listening to the news and they've been saying, first of all, let me say this, time out. So I am getting over a cold. So I'm congested and I'm going to sound a bit nasal for today's episode. All right, that's my disclaimer. Yes. It's like, gosh, Lisa sounds so different. She sounds so different. What's going on? She's talking through her nose. Yes, yes. Okay, but I'm feeling better. So that's a great thing. And we're back. Welcome back. So I missed Shift Your Thinking on Monday, was down for the weather, just not feeling good. I think last episode we were talking about just different things in the market. It's the worst market ever. No, it's not the worst market ever. All right, it's not the worst. Worst is relative. Worst is relative. I was having a great conversation with a friend and colleague, realtor Leslie, and I said, it's perspective and it's relative to whatever you're doing. So for us, the worst for us is interest rates are rising. Maybe, right? But before I continue, I want to do a sound check because today we're going to do classroom style. We're going to be discussing short sale basics. Just jumping in here because some of you may not see where short. So what is a short sale? I want to add the caption is what I'm doing here. Episode 174. So in any case, some of you may not see or notice where short sales will possibly come from, but yeah, they are starting to pop up. In fact, I'm dealing with one. And so I just want to come to the table, bring it to the Ready Set Real Estate tribe. Those of you who are tuning in and listening so that you're aware, top of mind. And of course, when we do classroom style or anything we do on this platform, there is a price to pay. What's that price? Press 1 lets me know you're here. Press 1 lets me know you're here. 2 lets me know you shared it. So go ahead and drop that. 2, let me know that you shared it because you care. Sharing is caring. And what else? Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to adjust my mic because I'm noticing you might be getting a lot of, yep, that should be better. You're getting a lot of feedback from my computer. The fan, like the mic is so that good, it picks up the sound around it. So this should be better. All right, so disclaimers for first off, welcome to the show. Welcome to Ready Set Real Estate. It's been a while. Glad to see you. Glad you're here. Make sure you're writing down your real estate goals for 2022. We are in now starting tomorrow. We are beginning the third or last month in third quarter. That means you've got one more quarter to go to execute towards those goals. Every day counts, doing a little bit of something towards those goals. Make sure you're writing those goals down. I must say we are closer. So we just invested in a company van. Really excited. I shared that so this is a real estate goal for us because it's part of the branding, and we've kind of weighed like what we're spending in terms of marketing, and then we were weighing like billboards and other things that we're doing, like what else can we do to get the brokerage, at least our business, out there. Really excited about this, especially because with that comes the workshops and the different teachings and things that I want to do. Trips. I want to be able to do trips, take folks down to properties, take them down to court, see how probate auction, goes down, how it goes down live and direct in court. I spoke to the court clerks about that, and they said it's fine. Of course, if it's not a private or a confidential case, we're welcome to attend. So if you're not in my backyard in my home state of California, I encourage you and invite you to go check out how it's handled in probate. That'll put some perspective on some estate planning for you all on why it's important. What else? If you're not in our backyard, The one thing you should also, here's why you should check out probates, is because most people are not showing up to the bids right now. So you might have an opportunity. And if you are in the market and you have been on the fence about purchasing probates, I encourage you to go after them. And here's why: because attorneys are being more flexible on the required deposit. Why? Because the market's changing. It's a beautiful thing. It's different things. You listen, you don't ask, you don't get. Okay? Very good. All right, disclaimer. So the information provided on this show is not to be considered legal or tax advice. Please seek those reputable, licensed professionals for your specific case, situation, scenario. All right? Yes, 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 yes. And what else do we have coming up? So I said we're going to do classroom style. I'm going to upload that shortly after our sponsor break. Shameless plug. Shameless plug. Divinio Estates, my brokerage, is today's sponsor. Thank you for Omnis Property Solutions, who's been showing support, helping us out in providing information, and as a great resource. But we definitely stepped it up. So Divinio Estates is our brokerage who is sponsoring today's episode on Ready, Set, Real Estate. We'll be right back after the sponsor break. Thank you.
We know how challenging it can be to try and sell a home while also dealing with other financial and legal matters. We're here to help. Divinio Estates is the real estate firm you need to make sure your unique situation is handled as quickly and efficiently as possible. Our team of professionals has a combined experience of over 30 years in real estate, construction, and finance industries. As active professionals in the industry, we know the importance of timelines and pride ourselves in providing superior service without compromising integrity. We use industry software and copyrighted proposals so that our real estate agents submit accurate and complete listing information and buyer offers. Our goal is to exceed your expectations and set Divinio Estates as the go-to real estate firm for excellence in advocacy and superior services for our clients. Contact us today to learn more about our services.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Real woohoo! We're proud of our commercial. We're proud of our commercial. Listen, if you're looking to be a show sponsor, and you have something that relates or connects to our audience, feel free to send a message, DM. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, I know I mentioned about our brokerage, but I don't really like put it out there. I was like, why not? Why not run a commercial? Hey, we'll put ourselves out there. I mean, I sponsor other events. Why not? So, yep, that was my thought. That was my thinking. Oh, wait, let me see. What is happening here? This is not the slide that I wanted. Yeah, let's remove that one and re-upload the slide. No. Doing a Google share. No, I'm not doing a Google share. Desktop. Where is this presentation? Short sale basics. All right, let that load. It's super hot in my office right now because I have an office. My office is on the side where the sun is just hitting. So, that's what I get for wanting a view, right? It's like, geez, it's hot. It's hot up in here. It's hot up in this piece. All right. So, what is a short sale? Classroom style today. Welcome, welcome. Make sure you get your pen, pad, paper ready so we can talk about this because you may not see it coming, but it's coming. And when you look at your deal, you may be like, what? Dang, I was so close. And your deal turns into a short sale. So very, very crucial for us to pay attention to where possibly could this be coming from? And we're going to talk about it. So short sale basics. Essentially, a short sale is the outstanding debt, such as the existing mortgage or other liens, exceeds the amount the property's worth and valued. Now let's talk about worth and valued. Who determines worth and value? The homeowner? No. The person willing to pay for it. So worth and valued is determined by the person who's willing to pay for it. That means if you have to sell, how much is someone willing to pay for your property in today's market, in today's current market conditions? That's where we get worth and valued. Not the seller's sentimental, emotional, I paid this much for it and I put this much into it and I repaired that and I didn't know. That is not going to be significant when you are up against the market. What is the market? The people willing to pay for it and the lender willing to finance on it. All right. That's where worth and value comes from. Because I oftentimes people are mistaken. They say just wild things out here. My house is worth $1 million. That's wonderful. To you, it's only worth that if someone's willing to pay it. But boom, right? It's only worth that if someone's willing to pay it. So essentially we're talking about that the existing mortgage and other liens and or debts exceeds. So now I've used math. I did this pretty quickly, so I'm going to check my math that my math is correct. Let me make sure I have my trusty calculator, my real estate calculator near me. So I'm going to trust that my calculators, my values are correct. But let's do this for example purposes. And there's a process to short sale. First, I want to discuss how did we get here? Because again, we may not see it coming. You may not. What do you mean? People have got, I'm hearing it. People have fixed interest rates. They've got good credit. It's not likely we'll have to deal with this type of stuff. No, 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 no. Some people have created a mess out of their properties because they didn't consult real estate brokers. They didn't consult an attorney. They didn't consult a professional outside themselves when they went and did certain things. Let's talk about these certain things. You might hear the passion in my voice because, yes, this is a big issue about to hit us. Boom, it's going to hit us. It's going to be a rude awakening to those of you who are like, what do you mean? We've got fixed interest rates. They're no adjustable. There shouldn't be a problem. No, but there is. There's a new subprime, and that's what I call this show topic we'll be discussing. There's a new subprime, and some of you who have been listening for me for the last 5 years on Ready Set Real Estate, can you believe it? We've been going 5 years. Wow. So episode 174 today, episode 174. Been tuning in for the last 5 years, have been hearing me talk about what? These pain in the butt, PACE, hero, liens. I just discovered another one because I was doing a research on a property and I just found another little sneaky one in there. It's for water treatment, water filtration systems. And I just noticed that prior to last year, this particular lien holder, what is a lien holder? It's a creditor who files a lien for any monies they lend out. They allowed the homeowner to borrow for a fixture, a home improvement, some material effect to the property. Material effect to the property. Now, whether that work got done, like whether you're happy with your roof, guess what? The lien holder finance company, they're not concerned with that, right? Like you go do a car loan. Your lender, not so much concerned whether your car works or not, whether you put gas in it, whether no, whether you change your tires, rotate, no, same concept. Same concept. The lender, lien holders who do these, lend you the money to do whatever you're going to do. You'll put a roof on, you're going to build ADU, you're going to do termite, you're going to paint your house, you're going to do water conservation landscaping. Lien holder doesn't care. Doesn't care if it actually got done, who you used, who got paid. All they know is their money was lent out and they want their money plus interest. Okay? Easy enough, fair enough. Great. Let's look at these examples. Gosh, it is exceedingly warm in my office right now. Woo! But this is good because this is a hot topic. It's a hot topic. I'm making it a hot topic. I'm making it a hot topic because I need you all to be discussing this, sharing it with people, telling them to heads up, be mindful before you do these things. Be mindful because you think that the math makes sense. The math does not make sense. Doesn't make sense. So let's talk about this. Existing mortgages. Because oftentimes you homeowners will come to us professionals and will say, yeah, my house is worth 530,000. My house is, we're going to talk about Amy, homeowner Amy. Homeowner Amy said, Lisa, my house is worth 530,000. I said, really? Okay. We do find out. Homeowner Amy is pretty accurate. We have a buyer willing to pay her for 530,000. I asked homeowner Amy, how much do you owe on your property? She says, well, my mortgage is 350. Okay. This is looking great. Because let's do the math. According to what homeowner Amy tells me, and I have a buyer, I bring a buyer to the table. She says house is worth 530. So let's say we want to sell it at 530, selling price 530. I'm going to keep the math easy for example purposes. And then we have homeowner Amy telling me she owes because everyone only just keeps in mind what they owe on the mortgage, right? She owes 350,000. This is a good scenario, right? So let's go here. 530,000 is the selling price. Shout out to ERGJ Enterprises and those of you who are streaming from the ERGJ page. Thank you for that love and support. Those who are tuning in on Ready Set Real Estate and on the Lisa Gillett Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Shout out to our radio podcast listeners who are tuning in anywhere. She says she owes 350 because you come to the table, you say, yeah, I owe 350,000 without counting broker commissions and transactional costs like title and insurance and prorating taxes and all that fun stuff. Not including seller concessions. Yeah, sellers are willing to do some seller concessions. They might give a seller credit of 1,000, 10,000, depends on the scenario. So I do 530, right? So 530 minus what Amy told me, 350. See, but I'm going to be a savvy professional. I'm going to be a savvy agent. What does that mean? I'm going to front load my deal. I'm not just going to put it on the market based on what Amy told me. Amy said she has a mortgage of 350. What am I going to do? Right? Because there's what she says and what's actually recorded against the property. What is recorded against the property is going to show up as a lien recorded against the house. So Amy says, I owe 350. Great, Amy. Homeowner Amy, can you please give me your latest mortgage statement? Oh, sure. She gives me her mortgage statement. I see Amy owes $347, $824.13. Okay, cool. She rounds up to 350. Her first mortgage lien says that, yeah, it's 350. Jude says, I have not heard short sale in a long time. It's real out here. Yes, it is. This is why we're talking about it, because we think, because we haven't heard about it in a long time, that it's not happening, but it's real. And this is why I want to discuss it, is because people are creating a real mess on their properties because they're not consulting professionals. And when it's time to sell, like in our example, homeowner Amy thinks she only owes $350 on her house. She says we've got a buyer for $530. That math tells me she gets $180,000, right? $180,000, not including broker fees and transactional costs. That's a good walk away. That's a good walk away. However, you, my colleague professionals who are listening to this show today are going to front load the deal and ask for what? You're going to ask your title company, run a property profile. You're going to ask homeowner Amy for her current mortgage statement. You're going to ask homeowner Amy, does she have other liens? Now, people don't think of them like as liens. Why? Because when homeowner Amy was a homeowner these past couple years, she was solicited by a contractor that said, there's a government funding out here to help you improve your home. Now, this is all hypothetical example purposes and excuse my facetiousness, because this is how people have been targeted and scammed out of the equity out of their properties. Keep up with me. I'm role playing here. I'm role playing. Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me put a disclaimer because someone might jump in on the show and be like, "Huh?" Disclaimer. So, example. Current topic is example of real life events. Boom. Okay. Pay attention. Pay attention here. Let's talk about this. So, disclaimer, current topic is an example of real life events because we're out here doing real life stuff. Homeowner Amy gave me a mortgage statement, says 347,000 is what she owed, but she wasn't thinking in terms of the work that she got done showed up as a lien against her property. Why? Because she was not solicited and said, would you like another loan against your house? No, she wasn't solicited that way. She was solicited and asked, would she like to paint her house? Does she have termites? Does she has rotted wood? Does she have an issue with her roof? Would she like solar panels? Would she like to cut her bill down by $300 a month for an annual savings of X thousands of dollars over years? Would she be interested in a water filtration system? Huh? What else? Help me out. Help me out. What else have you heard? Give it to me. What else have you heard out here? What else have we heard? Okay, you get the point. So homeowner Amy is not thinking the work that I did on my house shows up as a recorded lien, because when it was solicited to me, I was told I did not have to. When it was solicited to her, let me keep my perspectives proper. When it was solicited to homeowner Amy, she was not told that she would have this loan recorded against her house, payable over, now I'm seeing they amortize over 30 years. They used to be 10, 20, now they're 30 years. And she was not told, right? In fact, she was told it was zero interest, zero down, no money out of pocket for 2 years. What they failed to tell her is that the interest rate does incur year one and continues thereafter. And there's administrative costs and fees tacked on to that. It's the cost of doing business, right? Selling you a loan. So homeowner Amy is also in this situation because homeowner Amy was affected by the pandemic. She lost her job or, fell ill to COVID that affected her health extraneously. So we've got extenuating circumstances that homeowner Amy is not able to resolve. Homeowner Amy now has what? Let's look at our example. She has a first mortgage of $350,000. She has a defaulted past due amount of $80,000 because she has not been paying during the pandemic. She's not been paying since, let's say, March of 2020 when the pandemic hit. Yes, she had a moratorium, right? She had the protection to stay in our home. She did not qualify for a loan modification. So she has $80,000 of past due mortgage payments added to the 350,000 base or outstanding balance of the mortgage added. So now we're at 350 plus our 80. We're at 430,000. Amy decided that she also during this time will allow the contractor to do the termite work, replace the wood, paint the house, and put in water conservation, water conserving landscaping. And that amount totaled to two PACE liens at 110,000 for home energy efficiency. That's how it's being presented, not just in California. It's also across other states as well, and it's attached to the property taxes or even tied into the utilities. All right, keep up with me. So now she has a PACE Hero lien of 110,000. Let's add it to our first mortgage of 350, the past due amount of 80,000 that she wasn't paying on during the pandemic. This is homeowner Amy. And now this is a PACE Hero lien of 110,000, which by the way, PACE and Hero liens are called super liens, means that the 110,000 supersedes the first mortgage of 350,000. Can you say a very PO'd bank or lender? Absolutely. Absolutely. Why? Because in short sales, whoever has priority lien position gets paid first, and the person who's left behind or has the lowest or last position may not get paid. Let's continue. She did a PACE Hero lien of 110,000, and then because she really cared about of course being California, we're having issues with water, or water is hard. She has a water filtration system put in for 11,000, but she owes $6,500 that shows up as a UCC lien. So make sure you realize that these are going to be liens recorded against your house. Because in the event that you stop paying, those vendors and contractors and creditors want to make sure they get paid for the money that you borrowed for whatever you decided to do to your property. So where am I? I'm at 430 plus another 110,000. I'm at 540 plus our 6,500. Yep. My math, total debts against this property is 546,500. How do you think homeowner Amy feels right now? Homeowner Amy told me she owed 350,000. You feel she's a bit sticker shock? She's a bit upset because no one told her about these liens, how they would convert. All she says she wanted to do was cut her bill down and fix her house up because all the other houses in the area are being improved on. Contractors had come to solicit her and say she didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. It would all be taken care of through her mortgage. But if people don't know what questions to ask, they don't understand what through your mortgage means. It means they attach it to your property tax. They increase your property tax bill. Your property tax bill then gets sent to the escrow company. The escrow company then adjusts your mortgage payment, lets your lender know, by the way, your property tax have increased. If you have questions as to why your property tax have increased, you should call the county tax assessor's office, right? And then they will then say to you, oh, we noticed that you have a PACE or Hero lien recorded here. That's why. Ooh. That's why. Let's pause there so we can catch up. Let's pause there. Okay. So we're at selling this property for 530,000. Total debts are how much? 546,500. Amy is short. I haven't even factored in real estate fees or my commissions. I definitely know I work hard. So we want 5.5% on top. Right? So if I do 530 and we talk about broker fees, talking about $26,000, 500 on top of this 530. So homeowner Amy continues to owe more than what the property's worth, valued, or what someone is willing to pay for. Get it? Amy is short. This is why we call it short sale. The owner is short of what is owed on the property. There isn't sufficient equity in this property because it's been eaten up by the termite, paint, landscape, water filtration, roof replacement, solar panels, whatever you decided to do over the course of home ownership without consulting the proper professionals. You now owe more than what your property is worth. This is the reality. This is what's happening. This is the wave that we will be facing and dealing with those who cannot qualify for loan modifications. Why? Because your lender says, I can't help you. You have a PACE lien of $110,000. You can't qualify for the refinance. You put a lien on here for $110,000. This has got to be paid or resolved some way, somehow. Now you go to PACE and Hero lien holders and you say, can you help me? Please, please, baby, please help me. They say, no. We lent you the money. We expect you to be honest and repay back to us. They don't have to budge. Why? Because they're a super lien. They have priority position over the mortgage. So they're not sweating. They're not sweating this 530 that if you sell it for 530 because 110,000 gets paid first, everybody else gets paid after that. That's the reality. All right. That's the reality. So Amy is short. How much? 16,500. Let's move on to example 2. Bob. How much does Bob owe? How much does Bob owe? Homeowner Bob did the following during the purchase of his home, which includes his first mortgage lien of $375,000. He used down payment assistance, like a Cal HAFA loan, which is $12,000. Now, yes, your junior liens, although they are deferred, do come due one day. They come due one day. And when it's time to sell, refinance, those have to get paid as well. So this is also common during a time of high prices and needing, layered loans and secondary financing. Nothing wrong with it, but just be clear that when you say to me or any industry professional how much you think you owe, forgive us if we have to see it in writing. We have to see the statements. We have to order the property profiles. We have to look at what was recorded against your property because we no longer can take your word for it because you don't understand the implications or the consequences of having work done on your property when you have been solicited by contractors that come to you selling you home improvement, solar panels, water filtration, whatever they're trying to offer you. So homeowner Bob bought his property and he's got a first loan. He owes $375,000. He has a second loan for the down payment assistance or closing cost assistance, whichever he opted or needed to do, for $12,000. So that alone is how much, people? $375,000. Because guess what? Sometimes our homeowners don't even realize those down payment assistance are layered loans that show up. Because when they think they're going to sell, homeowner Bob says, yeah, I could get $430 for my house. Great. We get a buyer for $430. How much do you owe, homeowner Bob? Oh, I owe about $375. No, you don't owe $375 because there's a lien on here for that $12,000 when you bought the home. Okay, so you owe $375 plus $12,000. Got to give people back their money. So we're at $387,000. But then the pandemic hit, you stopped working, couldn't work, haven't been able to return to work or catch up with the defaulted past due amounts of $50,000. You haven't been able to catch up with your mortgage payments. So you owe in back payments 50,000, which means a couple of things are happening in these examples, and by the time this conversation is happening, means you will have received a notice of default, which is a pre-foreclosure action against your home and you. And you've also and or may have received a notice of trustee sale. Here in California, we do notice of trustee sale. That means the trustee's right or election to auction your property to recover the amount owed. This example is 387,000. Amount owed. Oh no, the defaulted amount plus 50. You haven't been paying your mortgage because you were writing it out. They kept deferring payments. They kept you in your home. Yes, all these wonderful things did happen, but now reality is going to kick in, and reality is kicking in really, really sharp and hard. Yes, it sucks. However, this wouldn't be ready, set real estate if we weren't talking about the raw, uncut, real, and unfiltered situations that occur in real estate. It's not always shiny, it's not always glamorous, it's not always pretty. It's oftentimes very sad, painful, frustrating. Folks are angry. There's a lot involved with these particular transactions at this point. These particular transactions, you will see deferred maintenance. You will see people almost have given up, right? It's tough to get out of bed, facing depression, oftentimes experiencing depression. Mental health is a real thing. All right. Oftentimes when I take on a listing like this too, I put in my notes to my agents, industry colleagues, to be sensitive to the homeowners in their situation, right? Clothes are, laundry's not being done, clothes not being washed, just life is just happening, but it's not happening at what they remember or what they were experiencing. So I am timing out for a message of sensitivity when people are going through these things because they didn't know, they're not consulting, they're not reaching out. And I think it's a disservice also on our part as professionals to not check in with our clients or past clients and homeowners and just let them know, hey, if you have any questions regarding real estate or anything, you're looking into home improvement, you need a recommendation, you need someone to look at something, give me a call. Be relational, not transactional. Okay, I'm off my soapbox, but we're still on the show. Okay, so I'm at 437,000 because I've now added $375,000 in the first mortgage. Cal half of which is down payment assistance can be used for down payment assistance or closing costs. Of course, if you had a great lender, they would have said to you, this is a loan on your house. It's a second. It is recorded and it is due, right? It becomes due when you sell the house or you refinance. And then you stop paying because of the pandemic, whether, and it's twofold, right? Because the moratorium served to help people who were truly experiencing these things. And then there were people, as we know, the bad eggs trickle in with everything, as we know, with the, PPP loans and all the other people who got all these millions of dollars and really didn't need it or qualify. Same with the moratorium. The people who, were truly affected, couldn't make their mortgage payment, took advantage of the moratorium, so they couldn't pay their mortgage, but they stayed in their home. And then you had families and people that still could pay on their mortgages, but they took advantage of the moratorium anyway and stopped paying on their mortgage. Hopefully you saved and stacked that money plus interest, right? Because now it's time to pay the piper. Defaulted past due amount, 50,000. So I'm at 437. Pace Hero Liens, you went and got a tankless water heater. You signed up for the tankless water heater at $12,000. Let's add that. Let's see if my math is correct. So the total debts against the property is $449,000 in this, for disclaimer purposes, current topic is an example of real life events. In this example, $449,000. So when homeowner Bob says, I owe, how much do you owe? How much do you owe? I want to break it down this way because oftentimes people are just thinking mortgage. They're not calculating all these different scenarios that come up because you have been targeted, solicited, and signed up. You wanted your electric bill down. You put solar panels. Now you owe $50,000 for solar panels, another 15, 20,000 for roof repair. You owe, tankless water heater, another 12,000. Listen, people, what is the message? Nothing is free. Nothing here is free. Right? So now where do we stand? In this example of homeowner Bob, we have our seller who's willing to pay homeowner Bob $430, because how do we determine worth and value of a property? It's what someone's willing to pay you, and it's what a lender's willing to finance. When I say what a lender's willing to finance, that's determined by their requisite of an appraisal. It's got to appraise at $430,000 when we're dealing with finance. If you get a cash buyer willing to pay you $430,000, that's awesome too. But guess what? Homeowner Bob owes $449,000. How much is he short? He still is short $19,000. So this is why this is a process. Short sales are a process because this is not inclusive of broker fees, transactional fees, escrow fees, title fees, proration fees. Not inclusive of that. Oh, let's not get into, because I just saw LaTanya jump on. So let's not get into withholdings and stuff like that. Sheesh. All right, let's continue. You ask yourself. Now, we covered short sales on our Property Owners Empowerment series last year. We did a 6-part series. I think it was almost 8 parts. You can check it out on our archive. We talked about every option available in lieu of selling, right? Selling would be last resort as you're facing financial hardship. In this section, we talked about short sales. So we're revisiting this conversation now as we're watching market prices adjust in these current conditions. Why are we having these discussions? Is because it's twofold. People say, well, I don't see short sales likely happening because people have enough equity in their homes. Not true. Why is it not true? Because of what we just learned from example 1 and 2, homeowner Amy and homeowner Bob. Homeowner Amy and homeowner Bob went and took out PACE liens, Hero liens, have UCC liens recorded on there for solar panels, roof replacements, water filtration systems, water treatment systems, whatever the fancy names are. You were solicited, targeted, scammed, bamboozled, and hoodwinked in thinking that this stuff would not show up, that ultimately would be free. Not exactly. So let's talk about it. See if this is a right fit for someone you or yourself, someone you or yourself who might be experiencing this as now the moratorium has ended. How do I know the moratorium has ended? Is because first one in line who said we are going to wait until January to begin filing our notice of defaults was Wells Fargo. They did their homework December 2021. December 2021, they did their homework on all those homeowners who had not paid from October to December, because that's when it mattered. It mattered. October 2021 to December 2021 is when that window mattered about whether you started paying for the past 2 years. It's time to pay the piper, people. So is a short sale right for me? You cannot afford your monthly mortgage payment. That's a hard reality check. Ask yourself, are you making the payment? Can you continue to make the payment based on your financial situation at this time? Remember that if you have to sell, walk away, deed in lieu foreclosure, short sale, you can get back into the business of home ownership as a re-entry buyer after 3 to 5 years. Work on your credit, work on your finances, get back on top. But as of these situations, as of these market conditions, the reality may be that you cannot continue to make your mortgage payment. So you may have to sell your home. If you prefer to sell your home and manage the process, then yes, this may be a good fit for you. You could do one of two things. You can work with your mortgage servicer to determine the listing price. That's called a broker priced opinion, a BPO. We know BPOs are back. It does require that the bank and the investor is who owns your loan. You may get notices at the loan, oh, this is, an assignment, right? Assignment, deed of trust assignment, they flip them all the time. They sell them all the time. So who you thought owed your loan, holds your loan, or you owe is someone else. We're going to get to that too. I'm going to give you a resource on how you find out who owns your loan. Depending on who owns your loan, there might be a program that is suited for you to get moving money. All right, stay tuned. Let's talk about this. So the bank and the investor have to prove the short sale. Although you are selling, you're the authorized party signer to these contracts, the bank, the investor has the final say on price and terms. All right, for those of you who are experiencing this, know someone who is, or may, you never know. Put this in your contacts, especially because we're not remembering phone numbers anymore. Just add it as a contact. Put HUD approved counselor. HUD approved counselor, add it as a contact. It's 888-995-HOPE. 888-995-HOPE. That's 888-995-4673. Help is free, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I think that's awesome. You get to speak to HUD-approved counselors to assist you with next steps. By this time, when you're facing these types of realities and notices, in those notices, they also recommend that you contact a real estate professional about selling your home. See if you can reach out to someone that you feel is reputable. I know it's a hard conversation to have with your trusted real estate professional, but if you have been working with someone or you're connected with a real estate professional that is relational, throws no stones, has no judgment, truly they are there genuinely to help you. They're genuinely there to help you and realize we all are experiencing life at different times in a different way. We all go through different seasons for a reason. All right. In the meantime, let's talk about these top 5 tips to monitor your mortgage. Again, I'm just recapping on what we talked about in the past when we did our property owner empowerment series. While you're doing these conversations and you're calling your mortgage servicer, what have I said before? Know the difference between your mortgage servicer and your lender. They are not the same entities of course. Oftentimes, I get people to say, Mr. Cooper is not your lender. They're a servicer. Mr. Cooper no. In fact, they up their staff. I remember when I did a keynote event out in Ventura, the CEO of Mr. Cooper upped their staff because they knew they would need the man-woman power to deal with the influx of what we're about to see behind the scenes, as quiet as it's kept. It's kept quiet Although you hear media saying, it's recession, not housing crisis, not housing crash, right? They're two different things. Recession, boom and bust, that's real estate does. That's what real estate does. That's what economy does. That's monetary policy. That's fiscal policy. We go up and down. What happens through that is damage control. All right, so here are my top 5 tips to monitor your mortgage. 1, write it down. Make notes so that it is reflected on your mortgage statement. What do I mean by that? When you're calling and finding out how much you owe, how much time you have, write down who you called, who you spoke to, get an extension and a reference number for the call, so that you can show and prove that you've been proactive regarding your finances, regarding your mortgage. Read each monthly mortgage statement. Here's why, because some of you may have some of those old loans with adjustable rate mortgages that has a balloon payment. And then you call me and say, I keep sending my payment of $1,500, but the lender is refusing it. And now I see it says that $110,000 is due. I keep saying 110,000 because I think it's the golden number or something. It's a number I keep seeing show up. It's 110,000. Somebody owes somewhere, somehow. The 110,000. Read your mortgage statement carefully because it may be showing a balloon payment is now due. What does that mean? Time's up. That's why they're not accepting your mortgage payment, because all of it is now due. A balloon, all at once, it's due. Check your credit reports. Check your credit reports. See if the mortgage company is now reporting that you've missed your payment. Why is that significant? Because that is a crucial component as to whether you would be eligible for a refinance but a refinance is because one missed mortgage statement is detrimental in history of mortgages. It hurts, and it hurts so bad you'd have to wait for another 12 months of on-time payments. That's how bad and heavy it hits. So you want to track that. Confirm or continue to pay your property taxes and insurance. Don't increase your debt or what you owe also with your property taxes. Don't do that. And more importantly, your property insurance. If something were to happen, we're in California, fires, floods, earthquakes, different things, scenarios, different catastrophic events happen. See what you can do about keeping your homeowner's insurance current. Very important. And then keep lines of communication open with the mortgage servicer. If you're going through a hardship, you've got to let them know. Someone passed away, you need to let them know. So they give you the proper documentation. If you wait to the 11th hour and now we're trying to sell, it's very difficult for me to get a mortgage payoff from the mortgage servicer because they don't know who you are. You're not on the loan. You're not on the account. You never told them that the borrower passed away. You didn't send a successor of interest document showing that you are now the administrator, the executor, the successor trustee. Very difficult. And guess what? Sometimes they take 21 days to get back to us. Sometimes we don't have 21 days in these situations. Okay? You can almost hear me plead, right? I'm pleading with you. Do the right thing. Listen, I do enjoy giving free stuff away. Yes, I truly do, right? So price of admission, our exchange here for this free game, this information to help someone out, whether it's you or someone you know, or both, or both. Thank you. Make sure you press 1. Let me know you're here. Press 2. Let me know you shared it. And if you'd like the copy of the CFPB Homeowner's Guide to Success, that's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, send me an email, lisa@lasuperagent.com. Also would love to hear your feedback. You can also send me an email as well. Let me know, is this topic helpful? Would you like to hear more about short sales? Do we dive into the short sale process? Today, we just covered short sale basics because people have said, I don't get, why is it a short sale? If the homeowner thinks they owe 350 and they can get 430. Why is it a short sale? Because there have been other matters that have transpired in the course of home ownership that would affect the equity in that particular property. All right. Okay. Any comments, questions, feedback? How are you feeling about that? I felt really passionate about it today. Hey, Latanya says hi, June. Sending June, saying hello to June. I feel real passionate about this. Why? Is because it's twofold. It's a frustration when I see a homeowner has these things, because it's like, oh, you didn't have anyone to call, or you didn't call anyone, you didn't talk to someone to really understand the implications. And then I feel for them, because then the reality is this is what the numbers are. Numbers don't lie, people do, right? Jay-Z, quoting Jay-Z. All right, with that, I say have a powerful and productive week. This was a good one. Let's catch up next week on another episode, on another information-packed episode on Ready, Set, Real Estate. We'll see you next week, guys. Take care. Be safe out there, and stay vigilant in terms of what's going on with these market conditions. Take care. Bye.